Welcome to the program now. Mississippi Senator Josh Harkins. He represents District 20. That, of course, incorporates Rankin County, serves as the chairperson of the powerful Senate Finance Committee. Senator Harkins, always good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming in.
Good afternoon, Gerard. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
You bet. So, big day. You and I visited a bit at the Capitol yesterday. Big announcement for the state of Mississippi, $1.9 billion EV battery plant that will be constructed in Marshall County, Mississippi, expected to create 2,000 jobs and an average pay of $66,000. Big old day. It was exciting.
It was a big day. It's a big week. We've been working pretty frantically all week once we got the word that the governor was going to be calling a special session, and started having meetings with MDA, Bill Cork, who was on the show this morning.
Yep.
His staff, Accelerate Mississippi, made themselves available. We, poured through the information. There's a lot of moving parts, and this is a culmination of years of effort. And got to give a lot of credit to those individuals and the local Justin Hall, who has been really kind of stalwart up there working on economic development projects. He's the little engine that could. He's up there, a small outfit up there working hard. They've had several opportunities on this site. A lot of different companies have come through, kicking the tires and looked at it, and were told that this was the site they wanted to come to, wanted us to match what other states were doing, and it was such an egregious number that we had to turn some other things away. But this is the relationship that came together and has made sense, and we got it across the line.
In my experience, which is just the last 5 years and being on the board in Madison County Economic Development, one of the things that I'm learning is that just being responsive and being able to get answers to questions. Because as you know, when you're negotiating something like this, it's a gazillion questions back and forth.
It's a lot of questions. And I spoke briefly with Justin yesterday, and he said, it's gotten to where these things used to be year-long kind of exercises.
Yeah.
The company would come in, and they would just go back and forth for a long time. Those time frames have shortened to where it's 2 to 3 months. Like, you get a notice of inquiry, like, hey, we're looking for all these different site specifications, and these are the parameters of what we're looking for. It's quick, and in 2 or 3 months whether or not you're going to be a contender or not. And so it's really, responsiveness is tantamount to the success of any of these developments projects, and they were very responsive. Obviously, like I said, Justin said they had gone through this with several other companies, and so they had their stuff together. And I think that the great thing about this, this project, it front loads a lot of the costs that are opening up, not just this one 500-acre parcel, but it's 1,700 acres total.
Okay.
So that's going to put in place much more developable land for economic activity in this region. And so some of the costs that are going into to prepare this site are going to actually feed an additional 1,200 acres. Okay. Water, sewer, electricity, gas, infrastructure, roadways that are going in. So there's going to be a lot more land available for development for suppliers, for secondary, tertiary activity around this plant and for other economic development.
Well, I know you're in the real estate business, so you know this a lot better than I do, but when prospects are looking at either a parcel or a structure, a house, whatever, it doesn't matter if it's commercial or residential, they want to envision themselves in it, right? Mm-hmm. They want to envision their project.
What's it going to look like?
Yeah, and the closer it looks like you're ready to get going, the better position you are to get a deal done.
I mean, to have a site slicked up, no trees, the topography's flattened out, the roadways are in, that gives them a much better vision of what could be there than if they pull up on a stand of trees and, no roadway.
Well, in Mississippi, drainage is a problem, as you know.
Absolutely. It's in my county, that's what we're working on, is a comprehensive storm drain system for the entire county. So those type issues are what is considered in the activity that these site selections when they take place. There's a lot of factors and a lot of moving parts, and I congratulate Justin, his team, MDA, Accelerate Mississippi. It's a good day for Mississippi.
Team effort, no doubt, and the governor he thanked and he extended congratulations and gratitude to all those groups that you named, including the legislature. He made the point, as you know, I kind of laughed a little bit. You know it a lot better than I do, but he said, those of you that have worked in this building know it's pretty hard to get a consensus around too much, and we were able to get something done in 24 hours. And so he extended his thanks to members of the legislature, and you were a large part of that, I know, as well. So it's just good to see the state come together and rally around something like this.
Our winners, and what our intent, our winners are our citizens, the people that have the opportunity for higher paying, better paying jobs with benefits like the $66,000 average salary, 2,000 jobs, and that doesn't really take into account all the extra that goes around it. I mean, obviously, for us, we look at Nissan and see what was the original intent or the commitment from them when they started, and it's grown tremendously from that.
Yeah.
And you look at the suppliers that have located around, so you see the potential of what big opportunities like this can do, and I think that's what's for Mississippians, that's what I think they want, the opportunity for better paying jobs. And that's what we're bringing in here.
So before I saw the details, I stated on the show on Tuesday and Wednesday that I was confident that our leaders would craft a deal that would protect the taxpayers with adequate clawback provisions, et cetera, that this would not go south on the taxpayers, that we certainly acknowledge we've had some projects in our past that could have been handled differently, but I think we've learned from that. And that's before I saw the actual provisions themselves. Are you comfortable, Senator, with what we got?
I mean, I think that's what they have worked on. I mean, as you go through these projects, you see what other states do, and you see the problems that arise. I mean, I think the clawback provision in this deal was about $238 million, which covers the state county portion of the grant and public infrastructure commitment. These combined companies have a market capitalization over $110 billion. Now that we can say the names, I mean, Daimler, PACCAR, Cummins. I mean, these are household names and successful businesses. And the other part about this is they're not looking to create a market to try to sell this in. They are the end user of this.
Right.
This product. So it's we feel like it's a really safe bet. Obviously, Murphy's Law, anything can happen.
Sure.
But I think we've got the provisions in this deal, in the MOU, and the agreements that will be signed by the parties that will protect the state.
Okay. Well, I felt like that would be the case. I didn't feel like I was going out on a limb and saying I believe that our leaders in the legislative bodies and our governor and MDA would ensure that would be the case. And once I saw kind of the final deal and the terms, I was comfortable. Yeah. So I think it's a good deal overall.
We're excited.
Yeah, the governor said, I may not quote him exactly here, but he said that this would positively impact thousands and thousands of our fellow Mississippians.
Absolutely.
And that, I think that's true, and that's what we want.
I mean, we talk about, and you hear people talking about, we're trying to bring back jobs, reshore jobs to America, bring in technology from outside. This is technology that's not located here. This is not technology that's currently being developed or manufactured in the United States. The beautiful thing about this technology is as it's value added, as we bring it in and do research and all the things that our local universities will bring to the table, all that intellectual property stays here with this joint venture. So, I mean, we're bringing jobs that ordinarily are shipped overseas or are being produced overseas. We're bringing it back to the United States and more specifically to Mississippi. And so that's I think that's what we all talk about. That's what you hear former President Trump beating the drum about. That's what I think we all want. And here we are. We have an opportunity to do that, and we looks like we're right there at the finish line.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to break here. You can hang around.
Absolutely.
So the governor also complimented and praised, and I know you have as well, Ryan Miller and his team over Accelerate Mississippi. Critical part of landing this deal.
Absolutely. Big part.
Yeah. So I think that was a good move on the part of state government a few years ago to create that organization.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We got Senator Josh Harkins in the Element Wealth Studios. We're coming right back. The Element Wealth Studio, we're visiting with Senator Josh Harkins the day after a really large, I think second in the state's history in terms of capital investment at $1.9 billion. And we should point out that Daimler, for the audience, they're the folks that make the Freightliner trucks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you see out on the roads quite a bit. And then it's PACCAR, which makes Peterbilt and Kenworth truck brands.
And they have a combustible engine plant.
Yeah, in Golden Triangle,
Golden
right?
Triangle,
yeah,
absolutely. And I think they just announced a $200 million expansion.
They sure did.
So
great company.
We're not converting everything over overnight, contrary to what you may hear.
Yeah, and that's not what's going on here. But there is an expectation that through the years there will be a conversion. Now this thing will take 3-4 years to get it up and running.
I think the plant has to be constructed by 2029, December 31st, 2029, and then the ramp up of employees is 2031.
Okay. And is that the performance metric for the...
Those are some of the benchmark time frames.
Well, the governor said yesterday that the company was already interviewed. Right? I think he said they reported that yesterday in his announcement.
They're ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, because they'll need some staff during the construction period before they get to the factory workers themselves, the line workers. But $66K is a good deal.
That's a great deal. Plus benefits.
Plus benefits. And that's important because... another major issue we're going to be talking about, of course, in the session is healthcare and the healthcare industry in the state of Mississippi. And the more people we can get employed where their employers offer good commercial group coverage, the better off is our healthcare.
Absolutely. When you have more private policies playing, that's good for the local healthcare and good for our citizens. Yeah, and it's just part of the overall package that makes this a great opportunity for our citizens to have that up there in that 8 county region. I think it's about a 60-mile area that touches about 8 counties up there. So there's a lot of people up there, and I think that having that opportunity for those, I think it's 165% of the prevailing wage up in that.
That's
area.
what the governor said too. So, yeah, sure did.
That's a good opportunity. Yeah,
that is awesome. So one of the amendments that was offered over in the House, and we've heard some of these grumblings as well, even after the deal was done, would have been to require the company to employ, I think, 70% of its workforce from Mississippi, that they would be Mississippi residents. Now, I personally believe that's government overreach. I think on the one hand, you tell the company, look, you got to achieve these targets in order to earn these incentives and to avoid a clawback, but we're going to tell you how to run the company to get there. That's kind of what it sounds like to me.
If that's the position you take, then we're only going to look to develop in Grenada, Central Metro area, and McGee.
That's about it.
We're not going to do anything on the counties that are on the border. It's just you have that, but then that's also an opportunity to hey, let's move closer to where I work. I don't want to drive that far away.
Sure.
And I think they talked about this the other day that the building permits up in that part of the state are starting to expand into Marshall County. It's going to be a boom for the county. It's going to be a boom for the schools up there.
Yep.
I mean, if you look at the fee and lieu structure that was set up. And this is what's unique about this is the county is participating as part of it. They gave back to the state 60% of their share of the fee and lieu.
Right.
The schools are going to, over a 30-year period, are going to have about $270 million.
Yeah.
The state, I think it's about $230 million to the county, which they're giving 60% of it to the state to help pay back for some of this infrastructure and land acquisition costs and stuff. So, and that's on what they've committed. If there's expansion, I mean, that's just on the baseline of what the commitment's made on. So, Justin, the county is really going in as a partner on this, not expecting the state to handle all of it, but to go in as a partnership. And I think you're going to see a lot more of that type of structure going forward.
Yeah, and just for the benefit of our audience, folks, a fee in lieu of is just kind of a set amount of ad valorem taxes in lieu of the traditional calculation of ad valorem tax. So it amounts to a bit of a discount.
It discounts it, but it's discounted more towards the county side,
That's
not
right,
the schools.
not
the schools are made whole.
And that was noted in the provisions that I saw.
Correct.
Specifically to your point. So that's a good point. But it's still revenue that otherwise it wouldn't
not
have.
Be here.
Yeah,
we would have 100% of zero.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so all right, so we've got the governor kind of teased, and others have as well. And I have on the program. I've disclosed and divulged what I can about another project that's coming up as well that the legislature, governor said, I think something south. You said that as well, but it's also very exciting, and it's scaled significantly. But it's a good time to be in Mississippi. I mean, and Senator, if this thing is announced in the short term, which that's kind of the plan at this point, that's two major announcements in a short period of time.
And I talked. My conversations with Bill Cork have been, about what else is going on. Like what are the projects are we looking at, or where's the activity? They don't specifically talk about projects because obviously they're under NDA and confidentiality is tantamount to the success of a lot of these.
Sure.
But he has told me that there's so much activity of people looking, which is encouraging, and it's looking all over the state. And I know I've heard some of the people comment about where the activity is going, and I understand the frustration, but you can't tell some of these folks where to locate. They're locating for specific reasons.
That's right.
If they need a port, they're not going to be locating in my district.
Right. Sure.
If they need river, if they need certain things. So, but the best thing that we can do is to be prepared. Obviously, what is becoming very important to the success and the ultimate location of these projects in our state is: do we have a workforce? Do we have an educated workforce that is trained, that's trainable? Do we have the means to train them? Do we have the power? Do we have the access to power?
Yep.
Electricity in these sites? Is there sewer? Is there water availability? A lot of those things, the highway system, what's the transportation logistics look like? So a lot of our communities are stepping up their efforts, and the state has matched it, doing site development grants to counties, to economic development groups to get sites ready, because these things are typically, you don't have time to say, hey, we got a great tract of land, we got all these things, we can get this stuff here, it's going to take a little time, but we can get it here. They need it there now. Shovel ready means we need to be able to turn and burn as quick as possible, and not having those sites shovel ready tends to hurt us, and so we've allocated, I think it's almost $90 million to site grant development, and I imagine you'll see some more money put forward in that area, and it's paying off. But look, these things weren't created overnight. These mega sites and these economic development areas where we're looking to attract businesses, they take time.
Yep.
With the Madison one, look at the I guess the ability for them to kind of see into the future when they did the Nissan plant, that interchange right there we talked about. That made it possible.
No doubt about it.
And that's 20 years ago.
Yes. So
this other site in Canton is also created because of the work that we did with Nissan many, many years ago. So that's what I talked about earlier about front loading this project with a lot of this expense is bringing in the sewer, the water, the gas, all these different factors that help make this additional 1,200 acres ready to go. And so you're front loading a lot of those costs that you're not going to have in future economic development projects that may locate there,
and or for businesses to come there. That's exactly right. I was going to say you're positioning for future projects.
Absolutely,
is what you're doing right now, and so you're able to. You've got a fixed cost associated with that, and when you have a project that enables you to facilitate that, then you're good to go in the future projects, and it's a huge advantage in that respect. The state, I just want to clarify this. I know there are those who feel like that because this is Marshall County and in the western part of the state's not getting a lot of attention. But you guys don't sit around the legislature and say, hey, don't let anything go into the western
Absolutely
part
not. I would love to have a project in the Delta, in Greenville, Tunica, wherever,
and
Leland,
neither does
Hollandale,
MDA.
Wherever we got to put it.
Yeah.
I think that we want to help create opportunities for Mississippians to work. We want to increase the labor force participation rate. We want to make sure we have opportunities for our citizens to have higher and better paying jobs, to climb the ladder, so to speak, create
agree.
opportunity and for them to raise their family here.
Appreciate you coming on, Senator. Always good to see you, sir.
Thank you, Gerard.
Yep. We're coming right back, folks, in the Element Well studio.